Hi, Sportster Paul here. Last time we were taking apart this 1982 Iron Sportster motor. We got the pushrod tubes off. They're here in this bin. Keep your stuff in bins. It's been covered up. It's been a couple months. I got pulled away from house stuff. The lifter blocks, keep them covered, so dust and crap, but that's the whole point of washing everything before you do this. Same thing, we're going to get supposedly simple. Just take these oil pipes off. You want things washed off, you want things clean, you want stuff working right. So here's my stash of, and there's every kind you can imagine, including one of the rare, this one. I'll take a picture and pop it up. See that arc in it right there? That's for a magneto bike. And this little arc in the oil line clears, I think it goes on the front one, and it clears a stud coming out of the magneto that does ignition stuff. So there's chrome ones, all aftermarket. I don't believe the factory ever had chrome. The problem with chrome, if it flakes, then little tiny flakes right up here fall and get into the oil stream, go up into the top end. The rocker arms, the exhaust rocker arms have little tiny holes that squirt oil over the valve. Every bike I've taken apart has had those holes plugged with a little bit of grit or a little bit of junk. So I'm always wary. The chrome looks pretty. Factory, they were cadmium plated. This one has some really old cadmium. There's black oxide. In fact, I think the nuts here are black, like Parkerized. I've got one of these. We'll put them all together and you can look. Here's like the chrome thing. Now, here is a headache. This is a nipple with a pipe thread. And so if you just start screwing them in, let's make them tight, it'll just wedge out the aluminum and go down deeper and deeper until the distance between the two is too big. And that's when the little rubber thing, show you a picture of that, the little rubber thing that the cap goes over, it squishes into the end of the tube, and now you've blocked your oil flow. So people all complain about it, but if you understand it and it's set up right and you know what's going on, it tends to work okay. So we're going to try and leave, I'm going to see if I can work from behind here. We're going to try to leave the towel here just to protect stuff. But if you're really, really clean and wash your hands right before you do all this, you can get away with it. It's 1/2 inch, but 13 millimeter is the same as a 1/2 inch. So you can, and this is why you don't want to let that pipe threaded part turn. You don't want it loosening up. You just leave it where it is. So you back that up, and then this one's already loose, I can tell. And then off it comes. Pretty soon they get finger tight. The rubber, you can see, I'll take some pictures. You can see the rubber right here. The bottom. See if I can do this. Righty-tighty. See, I'm losing the towel. Oh, well. Up comes the thing. Set down our tools. See if we can get this out. This is a good example to show you. This one is a little bit tight, right? It's not coming out. So you can just arc it a little bit. Hopefully, yeah. That's a perfect setup. If you just got to bend the pipe the tiniest little bit to get it in, when you go to put it back together, that's the secret. You don't let it sit down in this pocket. You pull it up and pull this rubber O-ring on the bottom down. Try to get new ones. It's really worth it to have new ones. You set it in. It'll go all the way up, all the way down, however you get it in. See if we can get it back in. There we go. So you don't just leave it all the way down where the rubber might squish into the open pipe here. Another subtlety. You try to feel about halfway, get it up a little, and then take this rubber down here and push it down so that, and it's a feel like everything on a Sportster. And pretty soon you feel, yeah, okay, the pipe's about in the middle, so the rubber won't squish over the end of the tube either way. You do a little on the bottom, like everything on a Harley, old Harley. You do a little on the bottom, little on the top. Work it so that pipe isn't moving too much as you tighten the two nuts. Let's see if we can get it out again without bending it. I'll put it here on top. We'll do the other one. I guess people like to see completion. These are finger tight because I had them out once. As a matter of fact, I put this motor together. The motor didn't have the stuff on the side. I had to assemble it so I could take it apart and show you folks. Got that part. Come down here, get on the lower one. See, this tube's got a little, oh, the tube's already popped out. That's a little concerning because, let's get it all the way, put the tools away. Push this in. It's got a little bend to it. And you can kind of, with a rubber mallet, I like taking it on a vise, or not a surface plate, don't beat up your surface plate. Take it on a vise or flat surface. But let's kind of explore what's going on here. Yeah, see this one, I don't know if that camera will pick it up, but it's a goodly bit. And this is where it's dangerous, right? This is where people complain about it. They make them with a braided line. The thing I like about the hard lines is it helps cool the oil as it's being pumped up to the top end because the air can reach the steel, whereas a rubber braided line, you're not going to get much cooling at all. Plus, I'm just not confident about those things, how they're swedged. Everything comes from, overseas, real cheap made. And you want to keep the oil to the top end. If one of those blows, you don't know it, you'd have oil all over the side of the engine, but then you'd also might burn up one of the heads because it's not getting any oil. And the piston, because the oil from the head goes down and comes out a squirt hole on the side and lubricates the piston. So this is a little problematic. Audition, like anything else, you can try to find a slightly longer one. This one's slightly longer. It's chrome, but let's see what happens with this one. See now, it's just touching. You can just hear it touching on the outside and a little bit of pressure. But being chrome, look real careful. Try to make sure there's no flaky stuff going on. It's a good chroming. It's a quality, name brand kind of stuff. I don't know who makes the good stuff. Custom Chrome used to do pretty good. This is actually a really nicely chromed. It doesn't look all flaky. But you want, to the point of getting a magnifying glass and looking around here to make sure. And then, of course, you make sure, because it was a junkyard thing laying around, you clean it meticulously. A little brush, gun brush will work if you don't have something, maybe a 22, I don't know, CO2 gun. Get it all cleaned out. Get everything clean again. Put it back together. So if you want to, I don't necessarily think chrome's an upgrade, right? What is it, chrome won't get you home? So, same principle. We've already lost the thing we took out. I guess here it is. Put that with the push rods and stuff, cover it up. Of course, you might not want to mix them together if you're going to try to use the push rods without cleaning them, which I don't recommend. You really should take everything apart, wash it, put your tools back where they came from. I got a new toolbox from last show, so I'm pretty happy about that. Where's the metric? Here it is. Put that there. It's a grip latch. And Sears, as part of their collapse of the American society, they don't make grip latch anymore. And I love them. I bought a fancy Milwaukee one that, it's auto close, like the drawers in the fancy kitchens, Home Depot. But you got to tug them to get them open. That charges up the auto close mechanism, or the soft close, or whatever you want to call it. And then you roll it back, and it's kind of nice because it does gently go back, and it doesn't, shake the tools around. But I'd rather just have a grip latch like that. That way when things go to fall over, the drawers don't all open up. All right, so that's quick and dirty. We're going to make it quick, this one. And then next, we'll start getting the heads off. We're not going to take the rocker boxes off the heads because we're going to act like this thing is in the frame of your bike. And you got to get these ridiculously hard to get head bolts. Ooh, I see I'm missing 2 head bolts. I got to go find those and put them in. Put this thing together to take it apart to show you folks, all right? Sportster Paul here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, okay?